I think the Knicks might be in real trouble. They have a few things going against them right now in terms of a quest to actually seriously contend for a title this year, and Jalen Brunson getting hurt tonight is the absolute worst case scenario for this team. This is not a team that can afford to lose Jalen Brunson for any sort of extended period of time whatsoever. They're slipping a little bit in the standings. They just have not looked like real competitors to the top teams in the league all year. I mean, they're 0-7 against the Cavs, Celtics, and Thunder by an average of about 20 points per game. They get beat again by the Lakers tonight in a game they absolutely should have and could have and needed to win, in all honesty. A game where they were up by 8 entering the fourth, blow that lead, only score 15 points in the fourth, 39 points in the entire second half before overtime. And just Brunson had 40 and it didn't matter. Like, this is a tough one of those games. Obviously, Cat wasn't efficient tonight. OG Anunoby was fine, not great. Josh Hart, same story. Fine, not great. Like, offensively, Bridges wasn't a huge contributor. They didn't get big contributions from a lot of their guys tonight, but for a team that is in a lot of ways, I think, priding themselves in their offense this season, losing their primary initiator in Brunson would be a death blow for this team. I just don't know how they're going to be nearly as good offensively without Brunson. And while I still think they would maintain a high level of defensive play, this is not a team that has the depth to afford this. I mean, their backup point guard is Campaign. I'm sorry. I mean, no disrespect to Campaign. He's managed to have a good NBA career. He's not a guy you trust in down the stretch of big games. And this looked like a bad injury for Brunson. It did. Now, obviously, as of now, recording this right after the game, there's no definitive answer on what is going on with Brunson. Tom Thibodeau didn't have an answer after the game in his press conference. Chris Haynes did say that there's optimism, it's just a sprain. The problem is, just a sprain could mean a lot of different things. There are minor ankle sprains, which he might be out for a couple games. And then there are like these major high ankle type sprains where he could miss a month or two. You know what I mean? Like, this team cannot afford for Jalen Brunson to miss a month of basketball, let alone more than that if it were to wind up theoretically being a serious issue. Obviously, there is optimism about the idea of it not being a fracture or some sort of more significant injury, which would be ideal, right? Like, obviously you do not want that. That would be a complete season ender, basically, if that were the case, that his season were like over or was some sort of fracture or something along those lines. But either way, they just quite simply cannot sustain like this without Jalen Brunson. I don't think they can play at nearly the same high level offensively. And in all honesty, this is a team that I feel like has kind of struggled a bit as of late anyway. Like, I'm not sitting here saying they've been bad by any means, but they haven't been extremely consistently high level. And it's the losses to good teams. I mean, their last few losses, they lose to LA, they get blown out right before Luka got traded, but still they got blown out by an AD-less Los Angeles team at that time. They get blown out by Boston, blown out by Cleveland, blown out by Boston again, beat pretty comfortably by Golden State. And then a game they should have won tonight against the Lakers, they lose that one too. They're not beating good teams. They're just not. And that's extremely concerning because in the Eastern Conference, as the 3 seed, now also only 3.5 games up on the Bucks and 4.5 games up on the Pacers. I know there's only 20 games left for them, but they can't afford Brunson to miss 15 of those 20 games. You know what I mean? Like, they just can't afford that in terms of the standings, because if they drop to the 4 or the 5 seed, good luck. Honestly, good luck either way to this team, because they're going to see one of Cleveland or Boston in the second round. Whether they make it to that second round or not, which obviously would be the goal and obviously is still pretty likely. Like, I'm not sitting here writing off this Knicks team whatsoever. If this Brunson injury winds up not being super significant and he's back pretty quickly and they're able to find their sustainability, they'll be all right. But I'm being realistic here when I say I'm not sure that they have enough firepower to perform at the highest level against these Eastern Conference teams. The amount of minutes they're putting on their guys on a night-to-night basis obviously is the most in the league, which has been talked about a lot really all season. But I don't know. This is really concerning to me because, I mean, Josh Hart leads the league in minutes per game. OG Anunoby plays 44 minutes. Mikal Bridges plays 43. Karl-Anthony Towns plays 42. Brunson plays 41. Would have played like 43 without the injury. I don't know, man. I don't know how sustainable this is. And I know it's Tom Thibodeau. I know it's the way he's always been, but guys got hurt last year in the playoffs. And like, they need Mitchell Robinson to be healthy. They're going to need all 5 of their guys, plus Mitchell Robinson, plus Deuce McBride, plus Campaign, plus maybe even Landry Shamet, Precious Achiuwa to be healthy. They're going to need all those guys to find a way to be healthy. And if that isn't the case and they lose really just 1 or 2 of those guys, this is a team that does not have the depth to make up for it, I don't think. Especially if they were to lose one of their starters or Mitchell Robinson or Deuce McBride. They really lose one of those 7 guys. This is a team that I think will be in real trouble in the playoffs because they just don't have the depth, I don't think, to sustain playing like this on a night-to-night basis. And I just think if you're going to play these guys 40 minutes a night, every single night. They're going to break down eventually. It happened in the playoffs last year. Feels like it could happen in the playoffs this year too. And I mean, look, Brunson's an awesome player. He's an awesome player having an awesome year. This is a really awesome team in a lot of ways. Cats have a 42.5% three-point shooting season on 5 attempts a game, and he's been efficient inside the arc, averaging 24 and 13. Like, he's having an awesome year. Brunson, again, has been awesome. 39% for 3, averaging 26, 7.5. Like, really good stuff from him as well. 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. And you're getting real consistent contributions from a lot of different guys, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, stuff like that. But teams are going to continue to leave Josh Hart open. They're going to make him beat them. Do we trust Precious Achiuwa down the stretch in a playoff game? I don't think so, which is why Mitchell Robinson is going to have a huge role. And I think if he's healthy, he provides a level of defensive versatility and just lineup versatility in general that this Knicks team has been sorely lacking all season. It's the ability to go big with Cat at the 4. It's the ability to go small. It's the ability to actually rest Cat with another center option who's a high-level guy. And look, I like Deuce McBride a lot. I think he's really had a coming out this party this season. He shot 37% from 3 in his own right, and I think has had a really solid year, but he's not a real off the dribble guy in a lot of ways, at least not to the level of a guy, Brunson, of course. And if Brunson is out for a significant amount of time, I just don't know where the playmaking and where the offense is going to consistently come from, because I think what has made the Knicks so good this year is, number one, Brunson's only missed 1 game. And he has been so in control all season that it's opened so much other stuff up for all these other guys. No Brunson, there's no creation to take away from all those other guys. And I think it's going to really stagnate an offense that has been the reason they've been so good this year. And that is extremely concerning if I'm a Knicks fan. And you look at the remaining schedule, like, it's not the worst schedule in the league by any means, but it's the 4th hardest in the East. Luckily for them, Milwaukee's is harder, which is a team that's trying to pass them, obviously, but they still got 2 against the Cavs, 1 against the Celtics, 1 against the Bucks, 1 against the Warriors. A couple of tough games in here for sure, and games that I think are going to be pretty telling for the rest of the season as far as how the rest of the season is going to go and what this team looks like come playoff time. And for a team that I felt like a couple months ago had a serious path to a title, I'm starting to really doubt that at this point in the year. And that's not to say they're bad. It's not to say that the season's over. It's not to say that they need to throw in the towel or it's a wash or anything along those lines. I think that'd be the wrong thing to say, but at the same time, it's not a concern. You know what I mean? Like, I would be really concerned by the fact that they have not proven to be able to beat top tier teams. And now their best player is injured, and it looks to be a relatively significant injury, and they don't have serious depth, and they're so reliant on all these guys to play so many minutes. It's going to take a toll on their bodies. I don't know, man. I just don't see it. I don't see the path forward in a league that is looking loaded at the top. Teams like the Cavs and the Celtics and the Thunder and the Lakers and the Nuggets. And it's just like, I don't think the Knicks can compete. I don't know. They feel like a second round exit to me. That's what it looks like, at least to this point in the year. And who knows, maybe they'll surprise me, but at this point, I'm not getting my hopes up. I just don't think this team is good enough to really make a run at a title this year. They're not that far off, but they have to have everything go perfectly for them to have a serious chance to win a title or even truly contend for a title this season. And that's just not happening at all right now for New York. So we'll see what happens. I hope y'all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more NBA content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.